All right, and we're live. Let's see how this goes. I'm trying it sideways, so once I get some people on here, I'll see how it looks to be sideways and not upright. So I'm just gonna check my tuning here to make sure that I'm good with the rest of the universe. 1 second. All right, if you're watching this on the replay, bear with me. Hey, welcome. Got one person on. Awesome. Thank you, and that's fine. I know that a lot of people would be catching this on the replay, but that's fine. I've got some stuff I want to show you about the chord, that I showed last week. So, all right, let's see how this goes. And yeah, let me know. Hey, Sharon, excellent. Thank you for joining. Is it working okay to be horizontal? Is that all right? The camera okay? Just let me know if that's okay, and I will proceed. But thanks for joining. All right. So this past week, I was focused on this A major, that A major right there, with the open A. Good, excellent, Sharon. Thank you. So yeah, so this very nice A major with the open A and the open E, and I just wanted to show a few more things about it. If you have any questions, please shout out. But let me show you just some common progressions and how I might fit it in there. Say I was doing like Free Fallin', Tom Petty, Free Fallin'. This probably isn't the original key, but you can play it. You know, and the whole song is just 3 chords over and over again. So when you're singing a verse, you can do the basic chords like this. When you get to the chorus for a little bit more oomph, then you can switch to these chords. Provide a bit of variety, and with that ringing there, with the high E ringing, I think it just increases the drama of it. And those 3 chords was just that A I showed you, and that D add 9, which is this add 9, 7th fret on the G string and the B string, and the E open. Back to that, and then an E7 right here. And the E7 I showed also on the on my original video, a 7th fret. 6th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, like that. So it's a nice way to kind of amp up the energy if you're doing a song like that. It's just a much bigger sound, I think, when you have that high E string ringing out. Or if you're doing something like another 3-chord tune with A, D, and E. You can throw that chord in there just for a bit of emphasis at the end of a line, just to mix it up a bit. In a song like that, say you had that same chord progression going through the whole thing, another way we can use these chords is if you have like an instrumental break. You want to stop singing, you want to throw in a solo break, and you don't have a violin player or whatever with you. These chords are really nice to play around with and sort of give the impression of a solo break, even though you're not actually having a real solo. So say we're doing that 3-chord tune. Solo break. I'm going to bar it. around with those chords that I showed you. This is that same A, but I'm barring the top two strings, and I'm doing the add 9, and then suspending it, and you can also do a 6. So the suspension is when you're adding the 7th fret on the G string. A 6 is when you're adding the 7th fret on the B string. And add 9 is when you're adding the 7th fret on the E string. You just add little melodies in there, and it all fits. It all fits whenever you're playing an A major chord. Any of these will fit. And I played the D that I also showed you in the other video, and I was just doing the same thing, just adding another note. This makes it a D6 if I'm at the 7th fret. And then I was going back and forth between the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the B string, which makes it a suspension. Well, actually, going from an add 9 to a D major. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a way to kind of get a bit of additional melody happening without actually having to stop everything else and play a little solo, you know? So this is that same E7 chord, but now I'm just throwing on a B note. So at the 7th fret again. So I've got the open E, 7th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the G string, open B, 7th fret on the high E string. I know I'm throwing a lot of chords at you, but there'll be the recording. You can stop and look back at this. But that's a way, yeah, just to add a bit of a solo. And you're not really doing that much, but it has a lot more interest than just playing those 3 chords, you know. Okay. Now you may have noticed when I did that last chord, and I barred the first 2, I used the word bar, and you may recognize this is very similar to the A bar chord. I want you never to play this A bar chord again. You don't need to. This bar chord to me it sounds very choked, unless you're doing, you know, the Pixies or the Cars or something. Instead, just play this one. It's got the same notes in it, but it just has a bigger ring to it, and it's much easier to get to, I feel like, also. Rather than having to bar and make sure that you're fretting all across all 6 strings. This is the exact same notes, again, the exact same notes as barring it all the way across. You start with your open A, and form this A all the way across it. So yeah, this is basically just the bottom 4 notes of the bar chord, but you have the A string right there, you have the A note right there, so why not just play that instead? Yeah. So something totally different with this chord now. The cool thing about this shape is that it's easy to move around. When you've got the open A string and the open E string, you get some pretty interesting stuff going on. You may already know an F major 7 chord, which is like an F. But if you leave the E string open, there. If you leave that A, if you're using the A, your open A string, that's the F major 7 over the A, and it works. So just by sliding this around, slide it down there. If you slide it to there, you get a pretty interesting G chord. It's a G chord over an A. Here, it might prompt some nice songwriting ideas just to slide that around. We've got it here at the 5th fret. Slide it down. Well, that's at the 7th fret. Slide it down 2 frets. You get this cool G. So, you know. Pretty cool sound. And then you can go all the way down to the F. People definitely have used this kind of thing, but it's a cool idea. You could also slide it up to the 10th fret. You get basically an A minor 7 happening. You don't need to worry about that. You can just slide it up 2 frets there. And up here, it's basically a D. D over an A. So you get some cool sounds happening just by sliding this chord shape around. like that. It's really kind of useful and can open up some stuff for you. Yeah, it can be really useful in that. There's a lot of other chord shapes that work like that. This one works especially well because it has the two open strings. You've got the open A and the open E, and in between that, you're just sliding this around. Yeah, so that's kind of all I had prepared. I just wanted to show you kind of a few other ways you can play that. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Go ahead and type them in. If not, then I'll go ahead and wrap this up and just save it for anyone else to watch. I also wanted to say that I've got a PDF document with all the chords that I mentioned in the last video. And if you send me your email address, I'll email you a copy of that. I thought it might be useful as a follow-up to my other video to be able to have a document with all the chords in that. Give me just 1 second. Let me just check my Facebook here. Thank you for... Make sure it's... Yeah. Yeah, so, if you have any questions, shoot. If not, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. That's all I can think of about this particular chord. It happens to be a real favorite of mine, especially using the variations that I showed you, like suspension, and moving between barring it and leaving it open. That's another way to get some melody in there. You know, it could be like a little riff. You could sing over this. Even though it's still just the same chord. Yeah. Oh, you bet, Sharon. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, just send me your email. Yep. Sure thing. And this is hope it's a good reference to, you can come back and slow it down and stop if you want to pick up any of these chords. Yeah, and if you have any questions, please let me know also. All right, thanks so much for joining, and if you're watching this on replay, thanks for listening and being part of this thing. Chords are my favorite thing on the guitar. They really, really are, and they've always been. So I love sharing this stuff. So awesome, Sharon. Awesome. All right, good luck with it all. And yeah, everyone, again, drop any questions in the comments. If you have some, I'm more than happy to answer. All right, take care, have a good night, and yeah, look for another new chord on Monday. All right, catch you later. Bye-bye now.